The game begins. Cassiopeia bot. I mean, look, you were talking about it on the desk.
Go.
The bot lane matchup, I think our analysis for a long time with Cerberus has defaulted to, yeah, well, they have the best bot lane in the league because Artemis is cracked. It's true. It's not wrong. Artemis is cracked. But I think maybe the gap has closed enough where the support matchup plays in, and maybe GAM suddenly has the better bot lane, particularly if they can crack out the mages.
And this is also exactly what we always talk about with style. Maybe he's not, what I brought up on the analyst desk as well, maybe he's not the best in traditional ADC matchups, but he plays all the other champs as well, so he can bring so much more to the table, and this is the prime example. What I don't like to see is mages going teleport in bot lane just because they're mages. I never really understood why mages thought that just because they're mages they have to go teleport, even though they are going to 2v2 as well. Like, if you go heal here, he is so much stronger than 2v2. But
I think the idea is you don't want to fight.
But why? It's Cassiopeia.
He's in trouble. It's only level 1 though, so no taunt available.
Okay, Levi!
Levi flashing over the wall. Is a Conqueror rise. No phase rush to run away, so he has to burn his flash.
It's a flash for flash trade though, and Levi with an insanely aggressive first gank.
Perhaps more important.
The problem is usually if you trade flash for flash, you expect the mid laner to be able to set up another gank, and then Levi can gank even without a flash. But can Graves gank without a flash and without red buff? Because that's gonna expire.
Galio?
I'm not sure about that.
With a Galio, I think.
Look at this, though.
I think he has a fair shot. This is genius. Cerberus, read the position. He's taking his wolves. No, it is going to be Levi taking his wolves, and Levi getting sent to the grave. He is just cleaned out.
And first support point goes to Ronopi, our resident Alistair.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, probably the best Alistair player as... well,
solo kill!
How'd that happen? Flash from
How
Carty.
has this happened? What do you think about taking Conqueror on Rise here? Over the phase rush? It seems crazy to me.
It seems a little bit crazy, I agree with that. Especially also because you later have to kite against Leona and Cassiopeia. Even
and
Kiaya
Galio and Graves.
So it's probably just for the side lane matchup. Oh, Artemis needs to flash away.
Artemis? Burning that flash. The Glacial Augment getting so much value there from B.
Yeah, so the only thing I can come up with is side lane. Because it's probably better into Kiaya, for example. Because the phase rush doesn't do anything against Camille ultimate. You can just run in circles more quickly. Nice.
Yep. Oh, they've come straight back. I think they know where the target is drawn. Carney living on single-digit HP, I think. As, oh boy, I think maybe that level 1 flash has been punished. Hey, I'm sorry. Which player did I say was the issue?
Okay, I'm sorry, but which player is O2?
Not the one you pointed out.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about him too. But let's see how this happened. Yado, what exactly have you done with your... No, you're not walking... Oh my god, the cannon greed. The cannon greed. I can understand it, but yeah, it's not good.
I think he gets away with phase rush, which is what's crazy.
I agree.
I genuinely think he has died twice. Or rather, died once and had to flash once just because he didn't take phase rush.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. This rune choice seems ridiculous. Maybe it's just hindsight, but they definitely have identified the issue and punished this rise over and over again now. We finally get to see the top lane, and we haven't seen Pun in a while, and this is one of the champions he came up with in winter and looked amazing on, even against the likes of Kiaya, and it seems like he's replicating that success to start off this series. It's one of the most contested and important points for Cerberus. They were able to neutralize Kiaya for the most part in finals, and there was one way to get to the title, because bot lane won, mid lane won, and top lane wasn't an issue. And Cerberus is actually ahead in goal, even though their mid laner is falling behind quite heftily against Carty. But of course, the Galio is also not the main carry, so giving up kills to the Galio, not detrimental.
I mean, not super detrimental. I think it's more about the Rise potentially falling behind in XP. Obviously, level 16 and level 11. Very important for him as Kiaya getting a lovely trade onto Pun. The Flash comes out there. He was a bit worried about getting ultimatumed. Now Yado trades back, but here we kind of see, while the gold may not matter, the fact that there is the heroic entrance or hero's entrance and no realm warp to follow is a pretty big deal. They've got maybe a 20-second window to abuse this.
This is a huge clash. If Fook is here in time for the counter dive, this could really turn the game around. This is a classic GAM play, diving on wave crash, but
Oh, it's a lovely play from the Alistair, though, to try and get this one turned around. They trade the one.
Tower.
Levi going low, tower still firing. It's going to find Cardi as well. Now Artemis able to charge forward. Yado was late, but he does arrive. Can he actually get the prison up? He can. In goes the Alistair as well. Getting the combo in. RonoP survives. And Cerberus were just better.
And what a read from Cerberus. This is exactly how they were able to overcome the GAM early game dominance in winter as well. Reading their plays, it's not that hard. You see the wave stacking, you know Levi's gonna be there, you move in time, and what a play to counteract not only the wave stack and the dive, also Karti's ultimate. They killed 3 people even. So great positioning, great read on the map, and good communication to amazing counter engage from RonoP.
Wow. RonoP.
And I mean,
MVP of that play.
Fook1 sacrifices himself. If Fook1 is level... He actually was level 6, but he kind of misplayed his ultimate. If he plays it a little bit better, I think they get away with not dying at all. But in the end, it doesn't matter because he bought so much time for his team. RonoP is smurfing on everything, and Yado's already here. Yado level 5, out or counter-roaming a level 6 Galio. So now Yado has his ultimate, but Karti doesn't. Another opportunity for Cerberus to make something happen on the map.
Yeah, I don't think we can give enough credit to RonoP in that play. That counter engage, denying the Zenith Blade, even moving forward. Oh, it was lovely. And now Cerberus are in a great position. If you can blunt these dives from GAM, we haven't seen GAM do a whole lot else. We know they can do other things, but we don't see it very often because not very many teams can blunt it.
This already looks a little bit reminiscent of the game they lost this week already. They lost the game this week. Doesn't happen often.
They did?
Against SPTC.
I hope we don't get another one of those.
And we got Levi on Grace in that game as well. Uh-oh. That's a lot of people moving on to Pun. Be careful, GAM.
It is. He is a Scion, though. No ultimate available. So they need to be very careful. 3,000 health on the Herald. Cerberus are going to reset it.
Karti's still no ultimate.
Long.
I don't think Cerberus knew that the ultimate was still down. They were playing so defensively against Karti. They could have collapsed on the other side because Karti had no way of rejoining his team.
They don't have a Featherstorm, though. No Featherstorm, no Unstoppable Onslaught is not ideal for Cerberus. So I think time kind of favors them.
Cerberus playing with the patience of Shelly there, and there is again resetting. No one is in bot lane, no one is in top lane, but it seems like GAM is the first one to call off this play. They want the waves. At some point the waves are actually worth more than the Rift Ult, but Cerberus is unrelenting. They want this objective.
The thing is that the carries are still farming for both teams. True. Style has gone up to the top side, and Artemis and Yado are just splitting the mid lane. It's a very weird scenario for sure, but once again, Cerberus engage on to Shelly. Levi quick drawing over the wall. It's Pun tanking it up. The eye currently
there goes B.
GAM, and here comes the engage. They go in, they immediately kill Guardi. Now, Fook has access to the Galio. The Realm Warp. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think they were grounded.
Miasma, yeah.
Yeah, they were grounded in it, so they couldn't move. Now the statues have been made. Pun taken low, Food as well. He doesn't have the soul. And Artemis gets a lovely feather redirect, dealing so much damage onto B. They're able to collapse onto Star.
B, why?
Trades 1-for-1. Absolutely magnificent stuff there. RonoP, he's low. B even lower, taken down by Pun. Now it's Kiaya and Levi with the world on their shoulders. But these are two men that know how to lift as Kiaya whips those
what are we doing?
The shotgun rings out. Kaboom, kaboom. And Atlas has shrugged as GAM walk away with a win.
I was about to praise Cerberus and reminisce about Winter, where they were able to consistently outfight GAM. But then they just squandered completely, overextension after overextension into Levi, who's just laughing at them on Graves, just auto-attacking 2 people at once, and in the end the fight goes kind of even, but the objective over to GAM, so we're in a very even game state still. It's not a game-losing mistake, but they were so close to winning the game here. Beautiful collapse, once again instigated by Runner P. They catch Kati on the roam, nothing can happen, and at this point, this situation should be easy to punish. Also, Artemis with a cool play. We need to see the last few seconds of the fight, because that really changed the whole course of the game. I have to blame B a little bit. His whole fighting was very strange. I'm not sure why he's going back in on Runner P there. That is... they almost get the kill, but he dies 100% of the time. But now, keep your eyes on Levi and Kiaya, fighting 2v3, 2v4 even. Fook misses everything, Pan misses everything, then very bad movement between the 3 of the top side. Yeah, and Levi just playing really well around vision and going in and out of the bush, as we have another engage in bot lane.
That we do, and this one is a lot cleaner for Cerberus as they pick up that immediate kill, goes over to Fook.
Style, no flash. Oh, good punish on the Ardos roam. It's back and forth, blow for blow, game. 8-8 in kills.
Now, while we were in the replay, Levi did pick up the Rift Herald, not too surprising after we saw how the fight ended up. So that is an objective available, or rather gold available. He dropped it. Now Artemis is just completely caught sleeping.
Yeah, not entirely sure how that happened. I think B might have flashed over the wall to catch him out there. Artemis, bad overextension, no Feather Storm available, no flash available to get away there. Another kill funneled into Levi. It's really just the dumb one from 2020 style. Funnel everything into Kenyon's Graves. Now Kenyon's Graves is Levi's Graves. They've tried this multiple times. They had some amazing games, they had some bad games, but this one is shaping up to be one of the deciding ones, as Levi's getting kill after kill after kill.
Yeah, and this is, I know we have obviously talked about Graves, in particularly Graves Jungle, a lot on VCS English, but I actually don't hate it when you go this build. When you go the Eclipse, you go more aggressive, and you really, really play as a carry rather than that shield bow build where you kind of just do much. Never liked that very much. Levi has been caught out. Featherstorm is used. He pulls them back. There's a big shutdown, but unfortunately goes over to Ron OP. But it just doesn't matter now that Yardo has joined the fight. Style.
No mana, though.
3-man ultimate. No one turns around. They're all too fixated on picking up the kill. Unfortunately, the lovely play is not rewarded, as he will go down regardless.
That's a huge swing in Cerberus' favor. Yes, the gold is a little bit spurious because some of that went over to Ron P, so we have to discount a little bit of the gold lead. That's okay, it's a 300 gold lead, so actually Cerberus still
very close
behind because a lot of the effective gold is on Ron P, but wait, what?
Just covered, just came in to cover him. I think I think Kiaya was running out of tools, and maybe there was a I
think he was just running away. It was a heroic exit.
I mean, we've got heroic exit, and we have unstoppable farm slot.
Unstoppable farm slot. I love it. We also have an Everfrost. We have an Everfrost Cassiopeia.
Really interesting, particularly in the bot lane.
So I've played a Cassiopeia game actually last week, so I'm better prepared than I would usually be. I like to play a Cassiopeia game every now and again. I just went with the build I knew. I didn't actually do any research on the build paths before playing that, so I'm not entirely sure if this is common.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up while you talk.
But it feels a little bit low on the damage side. Leandris is...
it's standard.
It is standard. Okay, yeah, I mean, it gives you more CC, more setup. So, makes sense. And Cassiopeia is not really lacking in damage, so... does make a lot of sense. Artemis with this very smart choice to just Gelfos away from the scary gargoyle thingy.
I think there is also the extra benefit of it really hurts Viego. It's so hard for Viego to do anything into Cassiopeia. The miasma slowing him down, the threat of the petrifying gaze, and the Everfrost. It's just kind of layers upon layers of Fook you Fook. I think it's difficult to play around that.
Nicely done. It will
allowed to
however,
say that.
it will, however, be a little bit harder to kill Pun. Now, Pun isn't really tanky enough to be a huge frontline yet, but he's farming away, a little behind the farming curve, but he's getting stronger and stronger.
Careful, mate.
Fook playing with fire, but Yado is here to cover, and Ronopi as well. Let's look at Ronopi's items. Hasn't been able to finish the first item, even though he got the 700 gold shutdown. A little bit surprising. I want to point out, though, that giving a lot of gold over to Ronopi might actually do a lot for them in the late game. If he gets to Anathema's chains, he is gonna be so hard for Style to deal with. Put the Anathemas on Style, just dive on him all the time, and if the Miasma is not good enough, then Ronopi just... you can barely play the game against him as Style, so I'm going to keep my eyes on Ronopi and the rest of these team fights, because he can really shape them and decide where and how to play.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The stakes are very high for this Alistair, as... again, another meeting of the minds here in the top lane. Rono P gives them the how you do it, and in comes Sion to join the party. The layering of the CC is good. Yado will be the first one to fall as Artemis now has to get out. Fook has access to his first reset.
Okay, Fook.
As he Leona is over the wall, he can absolutely go huge here your way. This is Fook's moment to prove me wrong. As he charges through in the gas, gets knocked up for a moment, has Punt playing bodyguard for him. But now GAM have regathered. They've re-entered the fight, and Cerberus have to get out of here.
Wow, this was so close to exploding in Cerberus' favor, because Artemis was, I think, like 100 or 150 HP a burst off killing Levi in one rotation. Then both had to go away, but Levi was actually able to rejoin the fight a little bit easier than Artemis because of the smoke screen and the protection from his front line. So if Artemis finds the kill on Levi there, the fight goes horribly wrong for GAM. We get to see this again. Look, take a look at Artemis and how he positions his feathers. Beautiful dodge on Style as well.
Oh.
Yeah, and Levi just survives with a slither. Then Levi's actually able to just stand behind Carti and get back into the fight. That changes everything. It's a 2-for-1, but man, these team fights are close, and one thing going differently can really decide. I'm still favoring Cerberus. The more I look at these team fights, the more I like Cerberus' chances.
We've got another fight coming in immediately as Artemis cleanses off the Everfrost. Not going to be held in place by that one.
Beautiful.
Good use of the Scion ult as well, as Cerberus are able to evacuate from that catch.
So GAM should get the prize here.
Dragon.
Yeah, Dragon's easy. They have the inside track. They have better health bars. It's only the second Drake, but look at Cerberus' movement.
Credit to Herald though. It didn't go down, so they actually should be able to pick that Herald up.
That's true. I was actually looking at the map and almost expecting a Baron because the game is so action-packed. We were not even at 20 minutes, so it's not a Baron. It's not a Rift Herald either.
I'm just zoning them away. No interest in actually taking it for themselves. Fair enough. Only a minute left on the clock for it. It's not super important.
Feels like GAM is a slightly more decisive team. They are a little bit quicker to act on the map, and most of that is coming from the mid lane matchup, I would argue, with Yado being on the back foot and having to play very defensively, while Carti can always be insanely aggressive on this champion. So feels like GAM is controlling the game pace a little bit more, but the game is so close that they overstep like they did in bot lane to give up the shutdown. The game can turn around any time, and look at Artemis scaling up. We always know Artemis is the one win condition that's always alive in Cerberus' games. He's getting closer to an IE. Oh no.
Oh, Yado, he's caught out. Actually, Everfrost to keep Style back for a moment. That's enough for now. The Petrifying Gaze holds up Ron OP as well, but Ron does his job of just bonking him away.
Yeah, Style is dead if he doesn't ult in time there. Because Ron OP wasn't able to do the combo because of Style's ultimate interruption. He turned to stone while doing the combo, so not able to press Q there. Or at least the Q didn't connect because he was stunned. So important Petrifying Gaze from Style. Style, it's such a hard game for him to play. There's so much he has to keep an eye on. Artemis, of course, Ron OP, but then also Yada from the other side. He needs to kite Pun. So it's really a test of character and how well he can play this Cassiopeia champion.
Yeah, then GAM just get a huge injection of gold as they pick up 2 towers worth of standing gold. Kiaya, I mean, look, I'm not a Scion expert, but I am an expert in brick shithouses, and you can't knock them down with scissor legs.
She's getting closer to actually doing that, though. I looked at one of the earlier traits in top lane, and a chunk from the Q was taking almost half HP from Pun. So the longer this goes...
Divine Thunderer is stupid, again, about how it applies to mitigation.
Agreed. Yeah, and there's
yeah,
nothing Pun can do to Kiaya, so at some point in this game, 2 more items for Kiaya, he might be able to just ignore Pun and take down towers in an instant. Of course, wave clear is not a problem Cyan really has. He's so good at that. So I don't really expect much to happen in the side lane in that matchup. Much more volatile on the other side, with Yado going Conqueror for the side lane matchup, so he is built to go into the side lanes and try to apply pressure there. Also makes him much more vulnerable, as we talked about in the early game. We've already seen him fall down because of the rune choice. So now is the time for him to show us why he actually went for Conqueror and didn't go for the obvious decision that we expected.
Yeah, I would really love to get some insight on what the thinking was. Because so far the Conqueror has seemed like the inferior choice. But of course, we know what this rune wants to do. It's more about the damage, it's more about the later game. Rather than the lane, as Cerberus seem to be setting themselves up a snake trap, but she's not going to slither in.
So she's getting tankier and faster, of course, as well, with Cassiopeia passive.
Oh, Sion coming on in, but just hits the tower. Good play by Style.
Very cool. Style just walking away, didn't even get nervous at all, didn't have his flash, he was just walking
3
behind
items,
the tower.
by the way.
Yeah, he's getting scarier and scarier. I mean, 3 items are close for Artemis as well. So this could come down to the ADC matchup we were teasing so much. So far in this game, I wouldn't say Style has had an amazing impact.
He's had some good ults.
Had some good ults, yeah, but he's not really the carry we expect Cassiopeia to be. So far, it's much more on Levi, who... Actually, looking at his inventory, went for a curious build path. Usually, you don't want to go for a Black Cleave if you don't have another heavy AD carry in your team, especially if you already sit on this much penetration. Camille, yeah, of course, if they ever group up together.
It is interesting, for sure.
Not what I would have expected, but this means he's never going to go for any crit. So this is really the lethality burst Graves. So...
I think that makes sense. I think playing any sort of crit Graves is really hard into a Sion. Uniquely hard into it for Graves, because obviously most ADCs, you can just click on the people behind him and still hit them. Graves can't. Graves has to hit who is in front of him.
Very true.
So I think that makes some sense. Realm Warp use, sort of just a cautionary one, as Cerberus do not want the 3rd Drake to be picked up.
That's flash from Carti.
Carti have to use flash.
Nicely done. Good catch. Oh,
Artemis
actually...
forces.
Yeah, he wanted the kill there.
Bold.
He does have IE in both summoners ready. Artemis is insanely strong at this point. He could carry the fight easily.
I really think we have to keep an eye on Artemis and see if that Gale Force use gets punished.
Carti
because Carti's going to come back in at full health. He has the hero's entrance. There's a bit of a catch. The dragon is secured. Well done there by Fook, but now the party gets started well and truly. Viego will be the first one to fall. They're on top of B on the other side of the fight, but that is a Leona. Yado has to try and chunk through him. Carti falls down. Artemis desperately trying to deal some damage, but he's got a big Levi on top of him. He gets that kill. I'm watching fully onto Artemis as he rips the feathers through Style. The golden mode only buys a moment before the zombie gives him a slap, and that is going to be Cerberus getting the dragon and 3 kills.
Oh, that's so good for Cerberus. Yes, it's all the summoners down for Artemis, apart from Clans, but the big important Flash is down, but he's also so insanely scary, almost no one can deal with him, and he has no armor penetration. Next team fight, he's gonna rip through everyone. Oh,
he's in a lot of trouble.
We're on a piece here to peel for him.
Time to earn your paycheck, mate. Play bouncer. He gets chunked down, and now Artemis is in a lot of trouble. No Featherstorm, of course, because this fight just happened. This was an overextension, and that's 700 gold to Mr. Kiaya.
Kiaya dodging the feather call. Blade caller, I think it's called. Whatever. Look at Stahl as well, getting free time to stack up his Conqueror, getting so strong, but it takes him quite a while to kill Yada, and on the other side, Artemis doesn't have the damage through armor yet. But next team fight, he's probably 2 or 3. It's beautiful. 2 or 3 auto attacks faster at killing the tank targets, and then Artemis just pops off. Artemis loves to do these feather calls.
By the way, that catch, that overextension by Artemis was massively punished.
Yeah. And that's Baron for GAM. I'm not sure how much that's gonna do with Cerberus being able to get the dragon and delay the dragon snowball at least. Because that was one of the most crucial results of the fight, to actually halt the dragon snowball and the potential for soul in the next dragon. So now this Baron for GAM, they might be able to break 1 or 2 outer towers, but it shouldn't really move the needle on the whole game. So can always prove me wrong, of course, but I don't really expect much to come from this.
Maybe not, but still, it's a big gold injection. It's now 4,000. It's 3,500 gold, to be a bit more accurate, which at 26 minutes is not by any means a mortal wound, but it is also 2 minutes of GAM running the map.
Definitely. And look at Kiaya, with the 2 kills he has now gotten into side lane potential. Kati has no flash.
Yeah, this is a catch out, but they're into this little passage against the Graves. You don't want to be there. Style used his ult. They have to ult the Galio defensively as well. Fook dives in, trying to desperately get one reset onto Style. Cerberus are getting picked apart, though. Fook has to carry, but he's heartbreaking away. Pun, he's tanky, but he will get whittled away. And this is why you cannot give GAM an inch. They will take a whole mile.
And they thought they had the catch on both Stahl and Kati, but then we're undecided on whom to actually try to approach. Then Stahl was the target, Kati came back with the ultimate, everything going GAM's way. Do they have the time to finish? I don't think so, but it could be an inhibitor. At least inhibitor tower in mid lane and potentially even bot lane falling. So now they've finally broken open the gates to game 1 victory. It's not over yet, but the gold lead is significant.
Yeah, now it's really dangerous. We need to see some hero performances. Cerberus, they're going to maintain the integrity of their base, but that is about it.
And Cerberus needs to put better target focus onto the important members. Maybe Stahl was the correct choice. You can see Pun is only looking at Stahl. Very good Zonya's there to buy time.
Corridor.
Yeah, and 2 of the members are already dead from trying to chase into Kati. So now this fight is over before it even starts. Artemis tries to do some damage, but he's completely caught unawares. I don't even think he should chase into this GAM comp in the first place. Kite back, use Zaya's biggest strength, which is kiting, putting out feathers, and then punching overextensions instead of trying to set up the play yourself. One of the pitfalls of the Alistairs in the VCS most of the time is them over chasing into them when they can into the enemy team, when they can also just play peel. And this is another instance of that occurring. 5-0-9 for Kiaya now, 3 items done, almost 4 items. This is now a threat to Artemis and Yado, as we can see in this instance.
Yado in so much trouble, and GAM knows where their bread is buttered. They are just repeatedly collapsing over and over and over again onto this rise. He's 2-8. I'm going to go ahead and say a lot of these deaths aren't his fault. Some of the early ones are. It's his rune choice. But so much of that is just, what do you do when a Galio and the Camille run at you? Cerberus have picked up a second dragon. It's being traded for this top lane and the bot lane. GAM, I don't think they care about soul anymore. You stole away the third one. GAM's not waiting an extra 10 minutes. They're just going to destroy the base. Fook is still not press B. He still hasn't pressed B your way.
So now he has a little bit of a flank, but is it good enough with...
It's a Viego!
Oh, they're losing 3 inhibitors here. It's a beautiful decision from GAM, but they're now pincered. Maybe here's the opportunity, Style.
Maybe. They're going to try and make this happen. Yado gets immediately Everfrosted up, but he's drawing the attention of 3. If they can make something happen, it would be huge. Style throws out that ultimate. Fook will be the first one to die. And now the feathers pulled back in by Artemis and get 0 damage. This should be game for sure. As Pun going into the zombie form, the 3 inhibs are down. The 6th member has joined GAM. and this is just disastrous. Cerberus went from looking close, looking good, and then we saw Angry GAM activated. Another stake claimed here by Ron, as Ron OP will fall down, and GAM continuing. Artemis, the last man standing, but this would be the most heroic performance I've seen out of any ADC ever, as GAM will finally take down the towers. They will take down the Nexus, and they will take a 1-0 lead.